In 2011, I fought all season long to win my first championship in open wheel racing. The year after, I did it again, becoming the youngest repeat champion in Canadian motorsports. The years that followed, I did a brief dip into Canadian touring cars and the road to Indy. Both of those years, I wasn't in a position to challenge for a championship, before winning the briefly revived F2000 Canada championship. That would be my third championship title despite only competing in 4 full seasons of motorsports. As of the conclusion of the 2022 Super Production Challenge season, I have only been able to compete in 5 full season campaigns. This could have very easily been 6 full seasons had circumstances gone differently, and possibly a 4th championship too.
Is up front and Claude Bourbonnais is digging for ground. We've got heavy braking.
Somebody's on the brakes. It looked like it could have been either faster or Morello in one of their vehicles.
You know, most of the drivers can adjust the brake bias on these cars to determine how much braking.
As quickly as the F2000 Canada Championship of the 1980s and 1990s came back in 2015, it then died. But not before I was able to add another piece of hardware to my collection and make it my 3rd championship. Moving forward for the 2016 season, sponsorship on my side of things was at an all-time high, so I took a big career risk with some potentially big rewards, even if it was only at a one-time event. I ran the Grand Prix of Mosport in the IMSA Prototype Light Series in preparation for a potential full-season assault on the championship in 2017. Despite it being my one and only appearance of the season, I was on track for a top 5 in the first of 2 races of the weekend before the car had other plans. In the final 1-hour-long race, I was inches away from the podium if I had bigger balls entering the last corner of the last lap. And then in 2017, the possibilities of running the full season in IMSA were dashed when the main sponsor was unable to remain partners for the upcoming season. And then to compound the pain, that decision came only a few short months before the racing season began. Looking for alternatives, I turned back to Canadian Touring Car. The team I elected to run with had done some smaller regional races but hadn't done a championship at the level of Canadian Touring Car Challenge before. Despite not having the money for a full season effort, there was potential of making things work if I was to be in a championship winning position. So I decided to take a chance and enter the first 2 weekends of the 6-weekend season and sort out the rest later. The 2017 Canadian Touring Car Championship season would take place at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, Calabogie, Circuit iCar, Shannonville, and Trois-Rivières before finishing off again at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Pre-season testing at CTMP would turn out to be foreshadowing for how the rest of the season would end up turning out, and this is how long my testing would go. Footage of the actual crash was lost, but that is how long it lasted. I spun and crashed exiting turn 3 on the outlap. To this day, it's one of the most embarrassing moments of my racing career, and even one of the top 5 throughout my entire life outright. I've never wanted to leave a racetrack in my life before or since, and this is the only time I've ever felt that way. CTMP is notorious for being a car killer, but I got off with a relatively small repair bill, considering what could have been. A couple weeks later, I arrived back at CTMP with a repaired car and a clear mind. I qualified 2nd for the first race of the year and got the season underway. Because I spent so much time fighting with that Mustang, trying not to get held up, I lost first and second place, and was now falling into the clutches of fourth and fifth place in their battle. For the next 15 odd minutes of the race, the running order wouldn't change. The class leader would actually have trouble and would give me fourth place. This incident itself would bring out a full course caution, but not before the overall leader lapped me right before the full course yellow came out, meaning that no matter what... Wait, stop. This has happened to me before. This has happened to me recently. Let's play it back. We need to see this again. Almost got myself another podium in the final race, but running fourth, the super production class leader lapped me. 22 seconds later, a full course yellow came out, guaranteeing that the best I was going to finish was fourth, and then on the final lap, I got overhauled down to sixth. How is it, why is it that every single time I happen to be running in fourth place, the leader uses that exact moment to lap me, and then a full course yellow immediately comes out, meaning that no matter what I do, I am...
Stop it. Get some help.
So I got the help. But I still was stuck in 4th place, and there was no chance of getting any higher than that because of the safety car. I did get into a bit of a battle for 5th place. However, that was very short-lived, and I did end up recovering the position anyways. The second and final race of the weekend was scheduled to take place in the early afternoon, right before the GT3 World Challenge race. However, we would see some torrential weather rip through the facility to the point where the GT3s would opt not to race at all on Sunday. There really were a lot of similarities between 2022 so far and this season, come to think of it. I came second in a terrifying yet surprisingly uneventful race and left Mosport running third in the championship. The next race would take place on my home turf in Calabogie. Mosport may be known for being a car killer, but Calabogie is known for being a tire killer, and there were some upcoming logistical issues that were about to become unignorable problems. And the Pirelli compounds that CTCC was running that season would drive that point home with a sledgehammer. I normally wouldn't mention any practice results, but I was so quick in the final practice on Saturday that I actually set the fastest time overall, even though I wasn't in the premier class. Despite that, qualifying would see me running in third for the first race, and with tires seeing such an extreme drop-off in performance from up to 8 seconds per lap at the start to the end in some cases, getting good positions early would be critical to a good result. After that first lap pass, and after the full course yellow, with that Ferrari spinning, I spent most of the race second place in class, and just on the fringes of a podium overall. I was able to get myself another pass or position overall in the race. However, this was mostly just for bragging rights and didn't have any impact on the championship since that car was not in my category. And now, back to the logistical issues that we left at the top of the Calabogie race have come back into action. The rest of the field was throwing tires at the car in order to prevent the extreme drop-off in pace, but we didn't have that luxury. Every lap we spent on track was critical, and even though that glory run in practice the day before stroked my ego, the consequences came for Sunday's qualifying. I would end up qualifying down in 7th place. One of my longtime supporters, Woody's Motor Vehicle Repair, was not happy seeing the car he sponsored at the back of the grid, and he himself personally paid for a new set of tires to change that. So now that I had the tools to go and win, all I had to do was go and make it happen. definitely one of the best drives in my career. Not only coming from way down in the field, but to win it in such commanding style and do it at home was an amazing experience. And it put me in the position that I needed to be in. The win gave me the lead in the championship. Exactly what I needed to secure the next race. Or so I thought. Unfortunately, this is where the fun and the good news story of the video ends and where the drama and the politics begin. There are a lot of factors beyond my control as to why I wasn't able to make it to the race. A lot of things went on behind the scenes. In fact, this script itself, what I'm saying to you right now, is being heavily modified and heavily redacted just to keep everybody and everything as politically neutral as possible and in as best a light as possible. I kept pushing and pushing until the very Friday practice session of the upcoming race, and even going as far to try to make a deal with the championship and with the racetrack itself. Despite all of my best efforts, despite throwing everything I could at the problem to try and find an amicable solution, nothing happened, and for the following round, my hopes of winning my 4th championship in 2017 did not go through. My car would not be at the track, and no one would be driving it.